The Christians think 99.5% of this world is living incorrectly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
From all the knowledge I've learned in the past 1, 2 years, knowing it, no one can do what I've done going to church for 1, 2 years straight in that level of difficulty. I think my pastor's difficulty in spirituality is one of the highest difficulties. That's when I say he was my mentor, that's like saying he was my master. It was like Jedi shit. It was like Star Wars. I was mentored for 1, 2 years, and then the highest, most strictest of spiritual disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
That is a hard church. The less people there are in the church is only more evidence of how much difficulty remains in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Not too many people are in that church. 10, 20, 25, 30 people. Everyone leaving, everyone going to different congregations,
Mm-hmm.
everyone going to different churches. Some people in this church going to different congregations. One week, the other week they come back.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be here. I was loyal for 1 to 2 years. And I don't know where I will take the recording, but it doesn't matter. I had to do it because I was spiritually inclined to keep a recollection of that record for myself. This is just basic therapeutic relief. All it does is amplify for it to be in record. I own a record label, I make records. Everything I do is very clean. Everything is fine tuned, everything is organized, everything is concise and compartmentalized.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have points. Um, it gets harder and harder and harder going to church every Sunday. When I went on Sunday, there were 10, 15 people there. Something is wrong with this reality. I'm suffering, and yeah, I can be depressed, but it doesn't feel right when everyone else is, and they think that I'm some type of. I'm not God. I never thought I was God. It's a very sacred thing. But they think because I'm in the church, if I'm living a worldly life, they have to live it too. They have to live it together with me. I am so far between the world, but if you're in the context list with me, of course your world is changed because I'm so gravitational. It's so evident. It's common sense. The people you surround yourself with take on a lifestyle, but not the way that, from my understanding, how I've learned, especially this Sunday, it to be. I get the impression that people really think that I'm more important than I hold myself to be. I don't think that I'm that important of a person. That's the modesty in me. I'm extremely modest because I let things get to my head, but I don't. I told myself this before. I came to this conclusion. it does not change me at core. At core, I am very down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can be a real jackass as a Leo rising. They're the most prideful sign ever.
Mm-hmm.
The pride doesn't go away. Barack Obama's a Leo. His pride does not go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
There's something about him. It is always there. Every time you see him, he cares about his presentation and like.
Yeah.
You know that more than I can. But how would I pick up on that in such a short amount of time? Well, because that's the explanation for my maturity level. And it's like, because I'm not a Leo, I'm at a lower level of pride.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm at a lower level of pride. I never was.
How did they
too many options.
How did
to
they express
talk
that
about.
they thought you were so important? How did you get that from them?
Because when you're in the church, the Word of God is connected to everything, and God knows everything, so God talks through them.
Okay.
And when they talk through as a vessel from God, they make it so that it's about me because I'm connected too. I just so happen to be more connected than most people. I am more connected to God because of my my birth purpose. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. It's always been like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very hard burden when you're connected to God.
Was there an interaction that was particularly difficult on Sunday?
Yeah, but I let it go because I go back to myself. It's really all just understanding yourself too internally. I'm what you would call a 7. There's not too many of us.
Are you talking about Enneagram?
If your year ends in a 7.
Oh, okay. Right.
You're a 7.
I know. Yes. Okay. So okay. Yeah, I'm 7.
Kellyanne Conway is from the same year as you.
Yeah.
Kanye is from 77.
Mm.
Kendrick's from 87. Guess who the 97 is?
You. Yep.
It's like it's so overwhelming I can't even speak. I can't speak. That's how overwhelming it is. It's so unbearably too much of a burden and responsibility. I don't even have words because it's more than words. That's how powerful it is. See, Billie Eilish will say, because she's so famous, she has millions of people, and the fame is it's such a burden. It's such a scary thing. Yeah, she can understand it because I'm not famous,
Sorry.
but Billie is. You can answer that.
Sorry. No, I don't need to. Sorry, it just was. Yeah.
It's alright. What time is it?
It is 12:35.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So Billie Eilish
Time
is
has
talking about
passed.
fame and
Can I because I'm meeting at 4, can I utilize
Yeah.
the all the time
Yes,
that I
yeah,
have?
yeah.
She is probably one of the most famous people currently, and I watched an interview of her, and I was learning about how it was very scary for her to be famous. It's common sense, but I can't begin to imagine that type of. I think it probably is more of a burden than me having the power that I have. Um, it's really not that much of a burden to be extremely rich. Billy's extremely famous. You have three options. You have money, fame, or power.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter what I saw in her interview. It doesn't matter at all. But that's my problem. I care too much about everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one person from each decade. Kellyanne probably is that person from the decade. Look where she got. She worked with Trump. She's releasing a book. She has a large amount of money from politics. But the closest seven to me, Julie, is 87. Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking scared of that guy. I'm supposed to fear Kendrick. He told me in a song, 7 years old, you think you're running this by yourself? You go and fear me if you don't fear no one else.
Mm-hmm.
Being a seven is extremely hard, Julie. Because Kanye's from June, Kendrick's from June, but good old Kofi is from July.
Mm-hmm.
I am a double seven. I don't
Right.
have six.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Kendrick and Kanye are born in June, 06. Kellyanne is 67. I'm a double seven.
Mm-hmm.
July 1997. 07 1997. That's two sevens. Very pure. Too much of a saint. Too white. That's where I get my white privilege. The dynamics are way too chosen. Because it always trades off. The power trades off. There are checks and balances when you have the power. Kanye it's very overwhelming. Kanye is a billionaire, genius,
Mm-hmm.
tower, one of the greatest. Kendrick's in the middle, and so the power trade off is the younger the generation is, the less the less you have to say about your success. So I have the lowest success.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick is higher in success. Kanye is all the way up in success. So they don't see me as a great person. And this is truly these secret things that I've learned about the power. And another check and balance that I have is I'm super six because my father was born in 46 and my mother was born in 64.
Uh-huh.
So that it was all chosen by God. this a long time ago from 50 to 97. He already decided how he wanted the dynamics to be. I just so happened to learn about it. And so I'm checked and balanced because I'm super six. My parents are six, so yeah, I'm a double seven, but I'm also 67 like you. But Kendrick's 67, Kanye's 67, but they're actually more seven than me. It's extremely complicated. The main thing I know is that Kendrick's June in 1987, Kanye's June 1977. There's only just one person from each generation. It took time for me to explain the fact that, yeah, that's what I meant by I was chosen. That's what I meant by the towers and having two brothers and me being on this left side. That's where I belong. That is the purpose of the 1997. Super fucking dark. The darkest out of all of them. Because the younger you are, the darker you are. Super dark. 7. Kendrick's in the middle. He's not as dark as I am. He's on both sides. Kanye is on the right side. There is nothing I can do to change that reality. It's just the way the law of spirituality is. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. How does this relate to what happened at church?
So, my position in the church is not acknowledged.
I see.
Because I'm so left-sided and dark, I am rejected by the church. They don't care because we're not as pure as we think. Me, Kendrick, and Kanye. Kanye is rapping about polygamous relationships and swearing. And Kendrick raps about he's kind of like the master who gives you two choices. So he's trying to he'll tell you about how you need to I'd rather you love me, I'd rather you trust me than to love me. And the next thing he'll say is that shoot out a window, bet on your favorite team. Whatever you do, just make it count. He's very scary because his power can be both destructive and healing. I have to fear Kendrick. I fear Kendrick more than Kanye. He's the number one person I'm supposed to fear because of his power. And so everyone else fears me because what do you think happens when you're on the left on the dark level? I'm the most destructive person. But it's balanced off. I'm not destructive. I'm just very, very dark. And so that's why everyone else in the industry fears me.
Yeah. Do you think that's why the church fears you? That people at church?
Church doesn't care. Like, there's nothing to fear me because the church probably is above all of us in each generation, above Kanye, Kendrick, and me. Because I'm looking. So I learned the understanding of my worldliness. The church is not worldly. Me, Kendrick, and Kanye are worldly. We're worldly sevens, and that's why they don't understand. Yeah. So it is what it is in the church, but I brought truth to it, and so they yeah.
Are you going to have a conversation with them today about?
Oh Lord, it's so stressful. Because when you're aware of the power and you wake up, all these things start to happen. And the church um, thinks I'm like evil because because I'm left oriented. It's not acceptable in the church.
Do they, how do they say that to you though? How do you know?
We love you, but we know that you're very worldly, and you cannot be in this world and serve God.
That's what they tell you? Oh my gosh.
You cannot have two masters. This is what it sounds like to be chastised. You're in the world, and you shouldn't be in the world because you can't serve two masters. You can't serve God and still be in the world.
So what did you do that made them think that in particular? Why now? Why did they come down on you now?
Because I learned about my power.
And did someone communicate something to you that they were upset with you?
Yeah.
What did they say?